going on this weekend. We've got a festival we're going to visit. I've got a load of interesting things I want to show you before the other Vikings turn up. We've got an evening you can stick around and enjoy. So stick with it. We've got a lot going on in this one. Thanks for coming. So some of the stuff I'm going to show you now, it's a follow-on from the last video, and it's some stuff that I didn't fit in. Some of the things I've made myself, some of the things I've bought, some of the things you'll be able to use if you wanted to get into living history or reenactment, the Viking side of things. Or if you're bushcrafters and you just want to see some interesting things that you can use around the camp, it might help you with that. Now, what I've found is charity shops are a great thing to use, really. I can pick up wool blankets quite cheap. You know, I can pick up all sorts of wooden bowls and things like that. And it just saves money. There is some good markets out there, like Tom, you can visit, sell all sorts of things. I'll try and find that and put a link in the description for you. Right, I'll just quickly talk to you about this jewellery that I made for my wife. I didn't make it from scratch. I bought some beads. These are kind of replica beads that were found at a site called Burka. And women had a lot of beads, and the men tended to bring the women beads home from their travels. It was kind of like souvenirs for them, and the women would make nice, you know, necklaces out of them. And she's got a hammer of 4 in the centre there, which is a kind of reconstruction of one that was found in England, I think. I think it might have been York where we found that. But this is something that I've made for her. It was worn over an apron dress mainly. It kind of held the top straps together. And the women would have all sorts of things dangling from these. Scissors, knives, needle cases, stuff that they're going to need for day-to-day use, really. Despite all the movies that are out there at the moment and all the Viking series and things, the Vikings used to wear colourful clothing. They loved colours. You know, if they could decorate it, they would. If they could do some tablet weaving, or they could afford it, they would trim hats with it, they would trim tunics and all sorts of things, dresses. And I'm going to show you a little thing what I did that it's a long project, but it really looks well, and it makes something that's quite plain look quite interesting. So I got this blanket from a charity shop. It was a plain kind of cream army blanket, I think. I think the British Army were using cream blankets for a long time, especially around about the 1950s and stuff. My dad remembers using these when he did national service. But it's quite a basic colour, isn't it, cream? It's not very fancy, and if you want to look like you've got a little bit of wealth or you want to have a little bit of status, you know, trimming your garments is a good idea. So this is just some stitch work that I've done with some wool. I've basically used 2 different colours and you know, rotated the colours to create a little bit of, you know, interest. And I put kind of like a zigzag pattern in the middle of that. I did this one Christmas. It took me a long time to do by hand. I think it took me a couple of days at least, you know. But in the last video, I was showing you how to wear a cloak, a cape, and it was a short cape what I was showing you. With this is a long cape. I'm going to show you how I wear it in case you didn't see that video. So the great thing about using a bit of colour around the outside of one of your garments is when you fold over the back like this, it creates more interest. If you look now, it's more interesting than it would have been, isn't it? Now I'm folding this over at the back. Could do with a bit of a clean, this blanket, by the way. And I'm going to put it around my back like so. And this is my sword arm. So I'm going to have a shorter side where my sword arm is. And this longer side, I'm going to pull up like so. This hand is completely concealed. And this hand here, this arm here, should I say, can move around, can't it? I'll just put a cloak pin on it. So now it's fastened up. I'm nice and warm. It's a bit too warm today for this, but you can imagine in the winter time, it would be a great thing to have, especially if you're into camping and stuff. You can use a blanket for an extra part of your sleep system, and also you can use the blanket for around the campfire. Now I folded this back over, didn't I? So now I can actually pull out the back if it's raining or it's cold, and I can create a bit of a hood there. You know, now I can throw this part over there. I can reveal my weaponry if I want to do that. This is a short sword. and it's something quite high status. You know, it's like kings and chieftains would have had broadswords. I think lower ranks would have had these. People would have mixed the two together, broadswords and short swords. Short swords mainly for close combat, I think. But I'm not too interested in swords. I'm more interested in the crafts and stuff. You know, how did they make things and stuff like that. But yeah, but this is a real good way of wearing a cloak, you know. And of course, you could just throw it off and hang it up if you want. I'll just hang it up here. But you can see how interesting it looked with the detail I put on it. It made something that's quite plain look more interesting, and I think the Vikings did that quite a lot. One of my friends, he decided he was going to make a chainmail vest. It took him a long time. He used split washers for it, and it's not really accurate. You know, it's chainmail. He's making the links, you know, out of something modern, and it's too heavy to wear. But he's had a go at it. It's not finished. I keep it anyway. But chainmail was intended to be lightweight. You know, you had to wear it in battle. So chainmail was intended to be lightweight. Even though it's heavy, it was quite lightweight because of the construction of it. And it was very, very strong, you know. So moving on back to clothes. This is a hat. It's a 6 kind of triangle hat here. Now, what I found was when I was making this tunic and other garments, some of the offcuts were in little triangles. And to me, these would have been made from scraps from the fabric from making bigger projects like, you know, tunics, dresses. And it's a real good hat. The construction of it is quite simple to do. I've got a video where I make a trapper's hat, and in that video you can basically make one of these as well. I'll put a link of that in the description in case you want to make one of these hats. But yeah, just protects your head from the sun and keeps you warm. And I have a friend who does tablet weaving. The tablet weaving was very expensive, and I've trimmed this with some tablet weaving there. The light's not great in here, but hopefully you can see that. She's wove all that by hand. So this is a good hat to make if you fancy a nice project coming this winter time. It'd be handy for you. You're going to probably see more of this stuff tomorrow on the same video, but tomorrow we're doing this festival. It's basically an old chapel that dates back, you know, Anglo-Saxon. It even goes older than that, I think. I think originally it was pagan. Well, it was pagan originally, and it was turned from pagan to Christianity. It's a magical place. So there's a festival there going on. There's all sorts of stuff. And like I said, we're doing a bit of a display. So you're going to see more of this stuff later. But this is a wool kind of throw that is woven in a way typical of the period. It's a modern garment, but the Vikings could weave complex designs. So this is something I picked up. I think it was about £2.50. To buy new probably would cost about £100 maybe, or £80 say. But stuff like that from charity shops, you know, you can't go wrong. Like I say, you can use them for part of your sleep system if you like. Now this, what I'm sat on, is a treasure of mine. I had a friend who owns a charity shop, and he rang me up and said, Riam, I've got a wolf skin, do you want it? And of course I flew down to the shop and I bought it. It's from the 1920s, I think. I think it comes from Canada, maybe. You know, I'm not going to honour the wolves by not using it. I feel sorry that they've been killed. Probably culled for farming reasons. I don't know. But I'm using it now and I show it to the public. I'll just show you that quickly. It's very old, this blanket, this throw, you know. So I've had to repair it. I'm going to see if I can find any more wolfskin from somewhere and put some patches over it at some point. But see this dark patch here, what runs down here? This would run down the centre of a wolf's back. I think I counted them. I think there's 8 wolves in this blanket alone. It is a shame, but it is a beautiful thing. You know, wolf skins probably were worn Not so much when it was raining, because fur's not very good in the wet. Probably more for, inside longhouses, keeping warm in winter, that type of thing. Now, I believe that the Vikings were in trade with the Sami people. I think there is some document about that. So this is reindeer skin. This is reindeer fur. And what's really good about reindeer fur is it's really, really thick and it's really, really warm. This is molting now. The hairs are falling out of it. I used to have it in my house, but I had reindeer hair everywhere. If you owned a reindeer skin or you've got one, you know what I'm talking about. They can molt. I think if you're going to buy one, try and get one that's been curled in winter time and it won't shed. I think this might be a summer or spring skin, so that's why it's shedding. That's what I've heard anyway. I might be wrong. You might know more than me about that. But yeah, reindeer furs, really good. Matthew's bringing some furs along, some deer furs we're going to look at later on, and some other stuff. If you're looking for some movies to watch that might help you get things more authentic and more period, watch The Norseman. It's the most accurate film I could find, actually. It's not 100% accurate, but most historians have watched it and commented on it and have said most of it is spot on. It's quite a dark film, but I think that was the producer's kind of way of making things feel old and dark. It could have been a bit brighter, people say, because then you could have seen the colours more. There is colourful clothing in it to watch. It's a really good film. The Viking series, some of the accounts in it aren't accurate. A lot of it isn't accurate. A lot of the clothing isn't accurate. I think season 1 of the Vikings was the most accurate. But you get to see Longships, don't you? And Floki, he's my favourite character in it. He's just so at one with nature. He's an interesting guy. He's my favourite guy. I like Ragnar as well, but I didn't really watch the later Viking series. But yeah, if you want to get into it properly, watch The Northman. It's really good. But on a lighter note, if you're looking for a bit of comedy, watch Northmen on Netflix. It's a comedy series. It's an absolute Mickey take out of the Viking series. But it's so funny. It really is. And they do things in it that aren't authentic on purpose. It's kind of like some hidden humour for some living history guys to laugh at. Watch it. If there's slaves in it, they go through a real bad time, but it's funny if you like dark humour. I've got a few hours before my mates turn up. I've got a few hours, and then later on we're going to get a bit of mead. Matthew's bringing some mead. We're going to be drinking out of horns, and we're going to have a little bit of a celebration, get into the mindset, ready for tomorrow. Hopefully we're not too hungover tomorrow doing the festival, speaking to children and people, slurring my words. I hope not. I won't drink too much, but you don't know. Once the mead starts flowing, anything could happen, couldn't it? Now, just quickly before I change the subject again, this is a book called Viking Cooking, and you can get this offline. It's really good. It's got some Viking recipes in this. And, if you wanted to have a Viking meal at home, or if you're bushcraft camping, you wanted to cook something Viking age, there's loads of recipes in here. I've used some of them, and they actually are quite tasty. The Vikings were quite creative with their food. They have to be. Morale's important, isn't it? If you're on an expedition, say, you want decent food and you want to feel good about yourself. Anyway, I'm going on a little bit too much. So what I'm going to do while I'm waiting now, I'm going to film some stuff and I'm going to put some music to it. I've got a new song for you to listen to. You can listen to that, and then I'll see you shortly.
On a frozen harbor, beneath the stars so bright, long ships trapped in stillness, in the frigid night, food stores running low as the cold winds blow. No sunlight for our crops in the winter's throe. The workshops are full of wood, shavings on the floor, crafting tales of trade with hearts that yearn for more. With every chisel's bite, our spirits carve the grain, dreaming of the Thor that will free us from this chain. When the snow melts away and the ice breaks free, we'll set sail on warmer seas. Oh, can't you see? With skies of endless blue and the wind at our backs, the treasures of our homeland, a journey we'll unpack. By the fire in the longhouse, where shadows dance in light, stories told by elders burning through the night, youth learning from the wise, with swords held high, board, spear and tradition, to defend and to fly. Skills echo in the air as she teaches the way, girls weaving tales of courage while spinning the day. Songs of the land rise high in the cold winter's hold, as the warmth of our laughter turns the ice to gold. When the snow melts away and the ice breaks free, we'll set sail on warmer seas. Oh, can't you see? With skies of endless blue and the wind at our backs, the treasures of our homeland, a journey we'll unpack. So sing the song together, brother, sister, raise your voice. This is our land, we stand, let's rejoice. In the long house we build strong and proud each day, holding on to our dreams as the snow fades away. Through the darkest nights, through the frozen embrace, we'll find strength in our roots, our spirit will not chase. As the ice starts to melt and the sun finds its way, we shall dream of adventure, casting fears away. When the snow melts away and the ice breaks free, we'll set sail on warmer seas. Oh, can't you see? With skies of endless blue and the wind at our backs, the treasures of our homeland, a journey we'll unpack. Yes, we'll journey
gonna have to get some lights in here in a minute because it's going dark. Yeah, that little song you listened to then, it was a little bit bluegrass, wasn't it? A bit country. It wasn't very Viking, the sound of it, but I like that type of music, and I liked the sound of that. So I've got a little bit of bad news. Some of my friends can't make it tonight. We've got one who's poorly. We've got another guy who's going to come tomorrow morning. Another lad can't make it because he's working. So it's going to be just me and Matthew tonight. But that's 6 bottles, or maybe 8 bottles of mead between 2 of us. So I'm going to tell him to put the mead in his car because we're going to end up drinking it all. Anyway, skull. Yeah, so Matthew's turned up now. He's cooking something to eat. He's having a bit of steak, and it's not very Viking authentic, some of the stuff we're doing tonight. Tomorrow will be more authentic, but today we're just going to have some fun tonight. What's your steak, mate?
It's not the Godfather, it's the Big Daddy steak from Aldi.
Big Daddy steak from Aldi.
So I'm not too sure what the cut is. It's just described as a big. I think it's a rump one because it's for the size of it, it's quite cheap. So
yeah,
but
yeah. Well,
it still tastes good.
He's like a hobbit. He just keeps eating and eating and eating. Yeah, we're losing the light now. I want to relax now, so I'm just going to put some music over this little bit of this video again because I just want to chill out. Stick around, and we'll get some mead. Yeah, I didn't bother putting music over this little bit. We got carried away. We had a good night. It was really good fun, and we just had a good catch up, and we listened to some songs and stuff, and then the night finished quite quickly, really. It was quite a good night, to be honest. Good morning. Didn't manage to do any filming last night because we drank mead, and yeah, we drank too much mead. I did say this could happen. It's very tasty, and once it starts flowing, that's the danger of it. I think we drank 2 bottles each. Matthew was very, very poorly last night. Very, very poorly. I don't think he's used to drinking mead. And, well, no one is really, apart from maybe me. I don't know. I don't feel too bad, to be honest, this morning. Mead doesn't give you a bad hangover sometimes. It's because it's honey and it's more natural. It seems to be not too bad for hangovers. Right, we're gonna have to put a tent up, I think, today. It's raining. To get all the stuff together now, all the kit, and start walking and working. We need some breakfast first, mate, don't we? Oh, he's being sick again. Well, that Aldi steak he bought is basically wasted. Right, I'm going to get on. I've got stuff to do. Right, I've set up the display now. There's only me left. Matthew's gone home. He's not feeling very well at all today. He's really suffering. Every time he stood up, he went dizzy. I think he might have a bug or something, you know. I think that's what's happened. But, yeah, he's gone home. I'm not on my own, actually, because Carol, you know Carol from some of the other bushcraft videos, she's come down to say hello. We've got the public coming. I'm going to talk through some of this stuff with you in a minute, and then I'll show you around this little festival we're at. So this here, this is a great game, this. This is Hanafatafl. It's spelt with a H, it's like Hanafatafl. It's a Viking kind of type of, it's almost like chess, but it's not. You have a king in the centre, and these are the soldiers that have to defend him, and these are the attackers, and the king's got to make his way to one of these castles on the corner here. And it's a really, really good game. You can play the game in 3 minutes, or it can go on for an hour, depending on how good your opponent is. I believe in the Viking Age, fights used to start over this game. It was taken very seriously. It was a strategic war game. But anyway, this board here are made from an old chopping board, and I burnt in the squares and put some ring dots in it there, just to make my own, really. I bought these glass pieces. Vikings love making things with glass, beads and jewellery and stuff. So this is a tent I made based on one that was found. I'm not sure whether they did lift them up like this, but it's very popular. I can imagine they did do this if they wanted to sell stuff. Traders and people, would have done that, I think. But it's really handy. It's a bit like a baker tent, isn't it? You could have a fire in front of it with a heat reflector and get a load of heat in there. But I'm going to do a few episodes when we're doing a bit of camping with this tent as well. Look at bushcraft from that perspective. Now, these tents were made out of linen. Well, the Viking tents were made from linen, possibly wool. Probably more likely wool, to be honest. But I've actually used cotton canvas for this because I can't afford to do it in linen. And I stained it with tea. I put a load of cheap tea bags in a big kettle, boiled it up, and I stained it with tea just to give it a little bit of colour because it was bright white, and I didn't want it to look too, bright and white like that because linen wasn't really white naturally. It was more like a kind of creamy grey colour, So even though this is a bit browny, it's a bit more in keeping, I think. So Carol's brought some hats along with her that she's made. These are nail bounded. It's a bit like knitting, but it's not like knitting. It's done in a completely different way. It's like using a series of knots. It's very, very warm. Now, the Vikings had mittens and they had socks and they had all sorts of warm things done like this. But I think she wants to sell these. Maybe I'll sell them for if somebody asks to buy them. Yeah, so because the public are coming, I've got to make sure that things that are dangerous are at the back because children especially have a tendency of picking things up and not thinking, they just see it and think they can touch it. I sometimes put a rope out the front, but I haven't done that this time because I want them to be able to handle some of the stuff on here. But all the sharp stuff, like the sword, that's at the back, axes, so they're just kept out of the way there. Carol's not in costume today. 2 years ago she come to do the festival with us and she made her own dress from start to finish. I think she made her own jewellery, necklace. She's even made a kind of loom type weaving thing for showing how they used to weave cloth and stuff. I'm pretty sure she's done some tablet weaving as well, but she's very creative, is Carol. Should we say hello to her? Yeah, so this is Carol. You've seen her before. Carol, what are you doing today? Are you going up a ladder again?
No, I've got a fractured toe, so
You've got
I won't be laddering it today. I'm ordering supplies.
And how did you fracture your toe on the ladder?
I slid off it.
I
I was overreaching and slid off it.
Slid off a ladder.
So I'm doing crochet at the moment, so no nail binding today.
Just a bit of crochet.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, Carol does everything. She's into Rocky Horror, the Rocky Horror picture show, and she made, what were they called, scarves, whatever.
The boas.
Boas. She used to make those. People went mad over them years ago. Did it still?
Yeah, they absolutely do, yeah.
Yeah, and she likes costume. She likes doing fancy dress and making her own outfits. I think you dressed up as the Joker once, didn't you?
Yes.
And Jason, Jason, he was Harley Quinn.
In a little skirt,
In a little
terrifying
skirt.
everybody.
I had a nightmare about that because I was sharing a tent with him in the Arctic, Carol, and I had this dream, and I woke up in the tent in my dream, and he was Harley Quinn, but Jason, and
That's appealing.
it put me off. It put me off going, to be honest. Matthew turned up to help us here. He did such a good job. He was brilliant at speaking to the children, especially about the games. The sun came out. I'm glad I put the tent up really because it actually helped a lot, the tent, keeping the sun off us. Great day, absolutely loved every minute of it, to be honest, speaking to people and things. Really nice turnout. Quite a lot of interest today. People are more interested in the Naffataffle game than anything else. If they're not interested in the swords and stuff, they're interested in the game. That's quite reassuring, isn't it? I'll show you around here while we're here anyway. We might as well have a look around.
There's some nice scarves.
Where's the action then?
Have you done some, sorry mate?
Run back for it.
Yeah, thanks very much for coming. It's been a bit of a success. It went quite well today. Lots of people interested. It was quite nice little festival. I hope you enjoyed that. Press that subscribe button and then you can find me. The next video we do will probably be bushcraft. But until then, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. I have another song for you if you want to stick around and listen to that. It's called Sails of Shadows and Light. And it's about the Vikings coming to Britain. And just give it a listen. You might enjoy it.
In the distance, where the waters roar, long ships draw closer to Britain's green shore, like dragons flying across the sea. Their sails are like dark wings stirring dread in me.
Gather the sheep, cows in the keep, hide the children, protect what we reap. Ready my horse, hand tied on my bow, for on this day my name they will know. The Northmen advance with Odin their guide, wishes of Valhalla as Valkyries glide. Axes and shields, the pagans now charge under a raven's banner. They'll fight and they'll lodge. Stand brave now, my brothers, let's send them to hell. Let us undo this wrong, break the dark spell. Heed the roar of the waves, hear the call of the fight. For together we'll rise like the dawn's golden light. Oh, the Vikings advance with strength to behold. Masters of death, their hearts might be cold. But amidst all the clash, a whisper did sound. The war chief spoke up, defying the ground. Let's seek a reprieve, offer peace on this day. If some land we relinquish, we'll forge a new way. From the shadows of fear, a bargain was made to settle and thrive in this green glade. Plant seeds of a future where hope intertwines with the blood of our brothers. A new life alive. Stand brave now, my brothers, let's send them to hell. Let us undo this wrong, break the dark spell. Heed the roar of the waves, hear the call of the fight. For together we'll rise like the dawn's golden light. Now the Northmen live in the stories of old, in the hearts of the brave, their legends unfold. With axes set down and shields placed aside, they planted their dreams where the green pastures bide. A tale of both courage